Okay, so I'm going to get started here. Thank you, everybody, for joining me tonight on a Monday night. This is our normally scheduled time. The last few weeks, we kind of bounced around. I was on vacation 2 weeks ago, and last Monday was graduation. So, in recognition of our graduates, I decided to move the show until Tuesday evening. So, we did that. It was election day. I know the weather is getting much nicer. So I'm announcing tonight that this is going to be our last live show. That doesn't mean that we're still not going to broadcast every week, because we still will. We'll be uploading a video every Monday evening at 7 o'clock, but it'll be a pre-recorded show. It might be recorded Sunday, it might be recorded Monday, but it won't be live. And the reason for that is because the weather's getting nicer. You know, we start out with 300 and some people, and now we're down to what looks like 62, which is still a great turnout, and I'm not disappointed in that. But I think it just shows that people are watching it later. When you look at our overall views on a week-to-week basis, our views stay the same. So we still have close to 2,000 views, but people are watching it afterwards. So obviously it's getting nice in Florida. I'm doing other things as well. So it would be much easier for me to just pre-record it and then upload it so that it is still broadcast every Monday evening at 7 o'clock. So that is going to be the case moving forward. I wanted to say that. If you're just joining us, if you could share our video now, I would appreciate that. And like I said, this is going to be the last live video. Moving forward, we'll still be doing it, but it won't be live. So I want to talk because next Tuesday night at 7 p.m. is the next school board meeting. And it's a school board meeting where the board will adopt their final budget. So just a little history lesson. Back in May, they made a preliminary budget. And some board members voted no. Other board members stated strongly that that they wanted changes to the final budget, but voted for the preliminary budget, which is fair in some ways. So up until this point, there has been no updates as to what that final budget is going to look like. Is kindergarten going to be full day or half day? Are all the libraries district-wide going to be slashed? So there's a lot of questions that are still up in the air that board members kind of challenge administration. You know, they challenged Drs. Weibel and Mr. Manning on coming to the table with solutions on those issues, and especially kindergarten. It seems like that was the number one concern. I know Mr. Urban talked about that, as well as Mrs. Blankenhorn and Mr. Moran. They had concerns with kindergarten being half day. So I'm kind of looking forward to that, but it seems like, you know, the pressure has really died down. So I would encourage you, it's not over yet. You know, these changes and this proposal that was proposed in May, the preliminary budget, is not a final version. So it's important that we're still contacting board members and that we're still reaching out to administration. There is a finance committee meeting on Friday at 7 a.m. I posted some information about that. I actually didn't think there was one scheduled. So I emailed Ann Blankenhorn, who chairs the finance committee, as well as Brian Manning and Drs. Weibel, asking them, you know, what gives, what's the update. And it was on the district's website, so that was my fault. It was under announcements. It wasn't under the calendar. So when I found that, I did a correction to the story that I wrote yesterday, or maybe that was Saturday. But I did do a correction to that, an update to that. So there is one Friday morning at 7 a.m. I know that's not an ideal time. My goal is to listen to that meeting and then kind of report back to everybody else. But up until Friday, up until next Tuesday, I think it's vitally important that we are still getting on there and emailing those elected officials and that administration to express how we feel. So that's part one. Last meeting, last school board meeting, we had over 1,000 people tune in. I hope it's that big this time. Obviously, St. Clair saved the Pottsville sports program, the junior high sports program, and that was awesome. Kudos to St. Clair, but there's still a lot of issues that are yet to be decided. So I think we need that same enthusiasm at this meeting or on next Tuesday. So that's the first thing I wanted to kind of say. If you have any questions, please ask the questions in the box. I know there's some. I'm going to get to the questions at the end, but keep asking them because I do see them rolling through, and I plan to answering them. We have about 80 viewers. Feel free to share this video so that other people get engaged. Feel free to ask questions. I want to go over a few things. I know a lot of people have asked me and have been talking on here about the St. Luke's money that was given to the school district. So I emailed Mr. Manning, the business manager, last evening, and I asked him, could I see the contract? I didn't want to file right to know. Usually they make you do that. So I sent an email, and he actually responded last night and gave me that information. So kudos to him because he didn't waste everybody's time, including his own, and a 30-day extension and all that. So I've been able to get that and to answer some of those questions. The school district is getting about a net of $120,000 over the course of 5 years, the way that I read the contract. And I'll be posting this contract with St. Luke's after the show tonight. So what does that mean? It sounds like they did a few things with that. And I took some notes here. Let me just give you what it is. So they got 2 new scoreboards in the boys' gym, and a new scoreboard for the football stadium. They also get a trainer from St. Luke's. So they have 2 trainers, I believe. And really all St. Luke's gets out of that is some advertising, and that's about it. I mean, it's kind of a very good deal for Pottsville. So I wanted to let everybody know that I could report back on that. I got the answer on St. Luke's. I will be posting that. A lot of people question, where's the money from St. Luke's? So I got that answer. It seems like the biggest concern these days are the trees coming down in the solar panel project in general. So I kind of want to touch on that a little bit. And I did some research, and this is what I found out. Now, I posted, in response to my right to know that I did receive last week, I posted the projection of energy costs going forward, 40-year costs. When I dive into that document, they say that 48%, the solar panels will offset 48% of the electricity that comes through the school district. They are judging that, and if you look at the document that I uploaded, which is entitled 40-year energy cost, it could be found on the subscribers of the Pottsville School District group in the file section. So they are saying that the shares for each SREC certificate share is $45 a share. However, if you look into some more, if you do some digging with that, and you actually look at what the market is saying as of June 3rd, it's in reality $23, which is almost half of what they projected at $45 a share. So that's one concern. Obviously, they're projecting higher than what looks like reality is. Furthermore, they have the cost of electricity rising each year. But in reality, the actual cost has either stayed the same or have gone down. So that's concerning. Now, I asked a friend of mine to kind of explain this to me because I don't really understand energy costs. But they say that from year 1 to 5, the district, according to this chart, is saying that they will make $15,000 a year. But if you look at the reality, and that's the $23 a share, which is reality right now, and that's based on SREC's website, they actually could lose $25,000 a year for the first 5 years. So that's very concerning because we're being led to believe, oh, this is going to be a money saver. This is going to be what saves the district. And really, that could not be the case. So I think that it's key to look at all that, because if we start losing $25,000, not good. So there's issues. A lot of questions on the investors. A lot of questions on the trees. I thank you because I received a lot of pictures of the trees coming down and it looks terrible. There's concerns with trees that were planted to honor certain former teachers and just honor people in general. It's my knowledge that some of those trees were cut down. It's concerning. Somebody else asked in an email to me, has the Shade Tree Commission been contacted? Are they getting a permit to do all this? I don't have those answers. I am going to contact the Shade Tree Commission. I'm sure they're aware of it. I mean, it's not like it's one tree being knocked down. It's tons of them. So there are a lot of concerns with this project. But the promise that they're going to save or that they're going to make a lot of money and save a lot of money may not be the case. So there's some major concerns there. I want to get to some of your questions. Feel free to jump in. Someone said, when I attended Pastoria High School, they offered Spanish, French, and German and Latin. I believe now it is just Spanish and German, and French. I believe French is also offered. At least when I was there, all three of them were. I know they're making a cut to a foreign language teacher this year, or at least they were. So if anybody has any insight on what's offered there, last I know, it was Spanish, German, and French. What's going on with the music department? It's my understanding that there's an elimination. Let me rephrase that. Somebody had left and they're not replacing them. I believe Kim Rissmiller, who taught at the high school, is going down to the elementary school. That's what I know about the music department. Is the board meeting going to be on Zoom? Yes, the social distancing is still in place. So yeah, they will offer that on Zoom. If that reaches its 100 capacity, which I would hope that it does, then we'll be on Facebook, I would hope. St. Luke's advertising is at sporting events, yes. So it should be clarified that if sports go downhill and attendance drops, then those monies will disappear. So yeah, it's for advertising, and I did say that. Is the 48% with the adjusted amount since the fields are not being used? That I don't know. I don't know that answer. Any panels still being put on alumni field? The last I had heard, they were not, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Let's see here. I'm getting messages in, so let me just. So I just got a message that Mrs. Riker, the high school band director, will be doing both band and choir now. So that explains that. So they eliminated the music position at the high school. All three are still offered. Okay. So German was originally cut, but now a Spanish teacher was cut instead. But there were two Spanish teachers, so they're back. Wait, no, they furloughed the German. Okay, so now I guess we don't have the answer because somebody's saying that they furloughed the German teacher. So I guess we'll find that out next week. So a question was asked, will I be going live before and after the board meeting next Tuesday? Also, will you go ahead with Monday Night Football in the fall? So Bob, you might have just joined, so I'll kind of reiterate what I said at the beginning. This will be the last, and there's 93 viewers now, so there's more than there were in the beginning. This will actually be the last live conference going forward. Here on in, I'll be pre-recording the videos and then uploading them every Monday at 7 o'clock before the Monday Night Football. So it's just it's very difficult for me to commit to every Monday night moving forward. So I'd like to pre-record it. I still want questions being brought in. When there's a big topic, I may go live. So next week, I probably will go live a few minutes before the meeting, and probably after the meeting, I'll go live as well to answer any questions. I'll still do that type of thing, but as for the every Monday show, I won't be doing that live any further after tonight. So it will be pre-done. Questions, please feel free to ask the questions. I'll still bring them up on the program. I'll put a new deadline of when to send me questions. It will probably be Sunday morning because I'll probably end up recording most of my shows on on Sunday. But to answer your question, Monday Night Football, no, I won't be doing that during Monday Night Football because I actually have season tickets to the Buccaneers. So hopefully we're allowing fans in the games, and I hope to get to some Monday night games this year because we do have a few. If you still have any questions, please feel free to ask them. Right to knows, for those that might have missed last week, I filed a bunch of right to knows, still waiting for the responses. I know that might not shock many of you. It shouldn't, but still waiting for the responses. They denied my other ones on the technicality, and I'm hoping to hear back sooner than 30 days. They did give me the 30-day extension, which I just think is ridiculous. So, if I think that they're withholding information from me, I'm going to file an appeal, and I did that last week. I'm not afraid to file an appeal either. Any other questions? That's really all I have for tonight, but I encourage you to tune in next week, 7 o'clock next Tuesday for the board meeting. I may go live beforehand. I'll definitely go live afterwards, but my regular Monday night show will still be every Monday, but it will not be live. It will be uploaded. Please still share that, get the viewership up on that. It's going to look much more professional than our show now because we're going to add, graphics to it and things like that. Maybe a little introduction in the beginning. So it's going to be a little bit more professional, but it will not be live. The other reason I'm changing from doing the live stream is I had issues with connection at the end of shows, and it just got too dicey. So I'll still answer your questions. If you comment on the videos, I will answer them. If you send me a question, I'll bring it up during my cast and my video recording. We have. Do you have any information on who the investigators are? I assume you mean investors. I do not. So I asked that question in the right to know, and they denied it. They said that they did not have a list of the investors. So, it's something that I'm trying to dive into, but it's very difficult to find information on an LLC, which that's what it's coded under, essentially. So feel free to ask questions. That is all for tonight. I want to thank you for joining. Please, even after this is over, share this video. Inform people that next week we will still be on at 7 o'clock. It just won't be a live show. So I want to thank you for attending. I know the weather is getting nicer, so I appreciate you taking time out of your busy Monday night and beautiful Monday night to listen to me ramble on. And I hope you tune in every Monday still at 7 o'clock. And tune into the board meeting next Tuesday, Finance Committee meeting this Friday at 7 a.m. Thank you all for watching. Have a great week.